going to be fast. Okay. So here is Jake Gyllenhaal and Sabrina Carpenter by the numbers. First up, we've got a message from President Donald Trump. I thought this was a little bit dry-ish for the most part, but James Austin Johnson never fails as Trump, and the visual with Heidi with the gun to the dog's head gets it every time. I got the W.
I think this is, it's your typical SNL political cold open. There were some runs of jokes there that they did make me laugh. The whole Veep, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Seinfeld bit, that did get me. So I'll give this a W.
And Veep is very close to our hearts, I know. Next up, we have the Jake Gyllenhaal monologue. There was some stand-up about the number 49 in here, and then we ended with a big show-stopping number. I've got the W.
I also gave it a W. Jake Gyllenhaal, all he really wants to do is Broadway, so anytime he wants to, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want to give me, Jake.
Jake.
Exactly. First sketch up after the monologue was Dad Has a Cookie. What'd you think?
I liked it. It's that classic, somebody gets way too intense about something that is not that big of a deal. It was good. I had a great time.
This was definitely had Andrew Dismukes written all over it.
Oh, yeah.
He loves a good argument sketch. Yeah, gave it the W as well. Next up is the Scooby-Doo episode heard round the world.
I loved it. Big Scooby-Doo fan ever since I was a kid. So I loved it. Got Sabrina in there. Clearly let Sarah Sherman do her thing on this one. It was great. I'll give it a W.
That definitely had her signature. Yeah, if it leaves you a little nauseous thinking, oh, Jesus Christ, it is peak SNL.
Are they allowed to show this on TV?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And next we got the Beautiful Girls, Jake Gyllenhaal's Beautiful Girls.
Again, he's singing. I'm enjoying it. I liked it. It was good. W.
Get him on Broadway ASAP. They had the girls dressed up like dolls, but I'd like to play with these boys. This sketch gets a W from me. Moving on. The cycling sketch.
Couple funny things. Bowen mispronouncing porcupine. That did get a laugh from me, but overall it didn't really do anything for me.
I agree. I think this may have done better as a pre-tape. Not to do exactly what I said I wasn't going to do, but with the live sketch, I think you could hear the track that the bike was on as it aired. They mixed that down for the reruns, but I think that distracted from especially the beginning of the sketch. I also gave it the first L of our run here on the Corkboard Chronicle. Next up, we got fast fashion commercial parody.
I love a commercial parody. I love the clothing commercial parodies. I liked this one. I'll give it a W.
And I remember this, people were posting on Twitter, this really hit for a lot of people. I think we've all been burned by companies like this. And even though this doesn't match what they were going for in the ad, everybody looks really good.
Except for Gyllenhaal's mohawk thing.
You're right. That was a little weird. But Ego, I mean, every look. I mean, it's just incredible. First musical performance that we're rating here was Sabrina Carpenter this time.
10 out of 10. I love Sabrina.
Yeah, huge win here. She sounded great, performed effortlessly, but plainly, here when you get down to brass tacks, she's on SNL and we're not. I gave it the W. Next up, we've got Weekend Update split into two parts here. One is the news portion of Weekend Update. So Colin and Michael's specific parts. I gave it the W, obviously. Joke swaps are the quickest way to get there. And I think it may be the single best concept to come out of SNL in the season 40s at least. And I can't wait to see how they escalate that for potentially the last season of this Weekend Update pairing. Gave it the W.
Yeah, I gave it a W too. I mean, I think that when we look back on Weekend Update hosts, that's going to be kind of the defining thing about those two and their tenure on the show. Once they kind of started doing that, they were just locked in. Yep,
for sure. And then the Weekend Update commentary, all we got here is the cicadas, but the cicadas, they get one chance every 15 years or so to live it up, and Keenan and Marcello's portrayal will be remembered until they come back around again. I got the W.
I did like it. As a person who hears cicadas all the time, I do wish that they made more 2007, 2011 specific references. I really liked it. Clearly, Keenan and Marcello did too. They were breaking just a little bit.
Yep, I love it. I love it every time. And then Southwest Airlines, this was a very similar sketch to one Kieran Culkin did a couple of years ago. I sadly preferred that one, but it was fun to know that eventually Bowen was going to come in as some ethereal, all-powerful character, and that was a fun part of this sketch that I was looking forward to.
It's fun. Everybody gets to do some characters, everybody gets involved. But compared to the original one where Bowen ends up the floating head, I think I prefer it to his Southwest god or whatever he was supposed to be.
All right, next up we got the NYPD press conference. I know this had to gone over huge in every film buff's house.
Oh yeah.
I didn't prefer it. I think it didn't land in the audience as much either. Those are deep niche references, and in an audience full of Sabrina Carpenter fans, it might not have landed how they intended.
The slideshows in this sketch were basically like someone had gone into my IMDb history and just kind of taken them all down. I could name all of those character actors for you, but ultimately it was just a PowerPoint presentation with a little bit of John Hamm in it. I gave it an L. I just needed a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. And then finally, Snake Eyes. James Austin Johnson, I am continually mesmerized by every performance he gives. His acting's off the charts, and if he hadn't knocked it off, I'd have loved to seen a little bit more from Snake Eyes. I think that needs a part 2, if he hadn't died.
So I think I disagree a little bit on this one. I gave this one an L just because it was just too short. That voice reveal, it did get me, but obviously it was the last sketch of the night, and I'm sure they had to cut it down a lot. I just needed a little more.
Yeah, so the consensus for that one is a tie. And that is the Jake Gyllenhaal Sabrina Carpenter episode. Total record for that particular episode, 9 wins, 3 losses, and 1 tie. And that's how we'll kind of keep track of the progress of season 50. So what'd you think? How did we? I guess it wasn't as rapid as I thought it was, but that's a lot to cover,
A little pithier if we're doing 3 episodes at once.
Yeah, exactly. That might end up becoming most of the episode. Yeah.